252.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Retronerds 252. This is Frank G here.
Along with Ralphie D.
And Cool Water.
That's how we do.
Alright, yeah, today we're going to be talking about something that I'm not all that familiar with, but we'll still have ability to rant and rave about. Saved by the Bell, which was one of those shows that came on at 11:30 and interfered with my beloved Saturday morning cartoons.
Wasn't an interference.
Yeah,
It was a nice capper. It was a nice
it was a segue into the afternoon shows.
which no one watched.
What,
I know.
like Wide World of Sports and Golf with Arnold Palmer? What was that? What were we missing?
Pretty much. But that was my cue that I had another half hour, 2 hour to watch TV before I had to go outside.
Wow, you know what? I think it might tie into that because that was my cue that cartoons are over. It's time to get out there and mow the fucking lawn.
Yeah.
So like, Saved by the Bell cut my leisure time off by 30 minutes. Those bastards. That's until I looked it up today, I always thought they were a few years younger than we were, and everybody's born right in our.
Yeah, it was one of those shows. See, that was one of the things that I liked about it. It was a show about teenagers that actually starred teenagers, which was cool because that was during a time where all the shows about teenagers were played by actors in their mid and late 20s.
And some of them were 30.
Some of them were way too old to be playing kids.
Yeah.
Even some of the people who came on Saved by the Bell kind of went into that vein because they were a little older. We can get in a little bit more.
Oh yeah, we're gonna dive deep in the deuce when it comes to Saved by the Bell.
We're going to be digging deep into Saved by the Bell today, but before that, let's see what these guys have over here at 252 News and Reviews.
So, no sooner than Snoop Dogg induction of Tupac into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it looks like mystery around the rapper Tupac Shakur's death will finally be solved. Marion Suge Knight, who was with Tupac when he was shot back in 1996, in a shocking revelation claimed that his ex-wife, Sharitha, and former security chief Reggie White Jr. killed the rapper.
Reggie White, the football player?
Reggie White Jr., his son. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't the minister.
Green Bay Packer.
Yeah, no. But the funny thing about it is, apparently, I don't know if you've been keeping up with a lot of what's been going on with Suge Knight, but ever since he went to prison, he's got
a sweet beard.
He's turned into a real bitch, and I'm just gonna get this out there. The guy who was supposed to be hanging Vanilla Ice off the balcony, coming up on the BET Awards, talking about if you're tired of people singing, dancing in your videos, come on over to Death Row. I'm talking about that guy to go from. I'm watching him in his little court appearances, passing out in his chair.
Passed out like a woman in church.
Clutching his pearls. Oh, he didn't got the Holy Ghost. But so now he didn't got to snitching. And he said for years he's known that his ex-wife and the security chief, who apparently was smashing, that they've been trying to kill him. So basically, he's saying Pac was just an innocent
bystander in the way.
And he's known literally the entire time who it was.
It sounds like trash, and it sounds like he's really grasping at straws because seriously, what's widely been circulated on the internet and everything is that Tupac was killed because it was retaliation on what happened at the hotel where he stomped that blood out.
Yeah, but that was not the case because they quickly had came in to deduce that guy had nothing to do with it. I mean, he got beat up and stuff in the hotel.
But it wasn't him. It was his folks.
It wasn't his folks.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, but that was just like, come on, man, because if it was that simple, they got all those cameras in Vegas. If it was really them, they'd have caught their ass.
If they cared, they would have caught.
Yeah, I know. It was like
there was a lot of money for years, like probably many years. There was a lot of money in keeping that story the way it was. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you're talking about the Vanilla Ice out the balcony thing. I talked to someone who would definitely know, being that he was Vanilla Ice, that never actually happened. But they were, they're like, well, this would be a great thing. We'll get promotion for both of us if we, all right, cool, whatever. We didn't think about who it would make look like an asshole or not. It's just like, whatever, I need to get some cash. So it's one of those things. So the fact that everything else was bullshit too does not surprise.
Yeah. So once again, the internet full of rumors.
I'm just saying that he's definitely snitching now. Not that he's an old man looking at the rest of his life.
Why don't you tell us who it was that stuck easy with the AIDS needle too, motherfucker?
I know.
It's probably bullshit.
AIDS doesn't work like that. Come on.
It does. Yeah, it does.
You can't stick somebody with an AIDS-infested needle and come on.
Well,
where would he get it? It was on ice. He had one of those ice chests, and he had an AIDS needle in there. Come on.
It's kind of like who is it? Batman. Whenever he goes out on a mission, he always has the right thing in his utility.
He needs an hour of what do you call it? An hour of prep time.
What else we got, Hart?
Well, Don Rickles, and this is a sad story right here, who made his name as devastating insult comic, but he was much more than that. He endeared himself to a new generation of fans as Toy Story's Mr. Potato Head. My kids are going to miss that. Died at 90. He was an Emmy Award-winning icon.
And Rickles was one of those guys, too, where it was like, he was prolific, legendary as a comic. But, when all those comics were doing that transition thing, they were doing the stand-up, then they would get their shows, and then they would get their movies and stuff like that. Rickles never really fell into that. He always was kind of like, not really waiting in the wings, because he was elite. He was an ultimate. And a lot of comedians all give much respect to Don Rickles. He was
quick on his feet, even up until the last minute of his life.
And he was always sharp, because he was still doing those roasts and stuff and giving it.
Yeah, and from everything that I've heard, he was quick-witted, sharp, and all that, but underneath all of that, I mean, that was all his act. He had a heart underneath it all, and he was just
he put a lot of guys over. Definitely put a lot of guys over.
I mean, he had a great long life to die of kidney failure at 90. I mean, nice run.
Yeah.
Here's to you, Don Rickles.
I feel like that was way too nice for a Don Rickles tribute memorial thing. He needs to be insulted at least 3-4 times in that run. The old man looked like a California raisin. I'm glad we don't have to endure another 90 years of that stale comedy. Here's to you, hockey puck.
Right. Well, there you go. He rest in peace.
that was actually better than what we gave for Chuck Berry.
True. Chuck Berry was.
Anyway, I was just saying.
All right, hold on. But also, I'd like to say real quick that his turn in Goodfellas, I wish I would have done some prep on this, like the aforementioned Batman, but the role that he played in Goodfellas and just everything that he said.
Are you sure Goodfellas, or was that Casino?
Yeah, because I didn't say Casino. I said Goodfellas. Erase all that.
No.
Okay. The role that he played in
Casino.
Rest in peace, Don Rickles.
Well, unfortunately, Don wasn't the only one that we lost. We also lost Charlie Murphy, a very successful and popular stand-up comedian in his own right. Also passed away. He died from leukemia Wednesday morning in a New York City hospital. He was undergoing chemotherapy, and his family members were actually shocked because they thought everything was getting better.
Yeah.
He even had joked about that the family was calling him too much, and you can always see, see him. I can see him.
Always smiling too. That's what I'm going to miss about Charlie. Yeah. Like I knew him. I saw him down the block. But
we've known of him for till. Look at Charlie standing over there with third-degree burns, eating a motherfucking Frank. It's like he's been with us since we were 10 years old.
Even before we knew who Charlie Murphy was, we knew who Charlie Murphy was.
I mean, and most people obviously know Charlie Murphy from his stint on the Chappelle Show, and when I even saw it there on the internet, they were talking about the 10 best Chappelle Show skits.
He's probably in all of them.
Oh, well, definitely number one was the True Hollywood Stories from Charlie Murphy when he talked about Prince and Rick James, which hands down still I mean, you have to live under a rock if you don't know.
Depending on your point of view, all three of those dudes are up there forming a new basketball team, right?
Prince, Charlie Murphy, and Rick James. True that.
Blouses.
Let me tell you what, though. My favorite thing that he was in, CB4.
Gusto, the real Gusto.
Yeah, the real Gusto. It's my first drive-by.
Hey, get that bitch, Gusto.
Oh man, and you know what? And this was one of those. It was on the Chappelle show. We were talking about this last night. It was the part where he was working before he came out and was doing his stand-up. He was doing security for his brother,
right?
And there's this whole thing. I mean, he tells the story way better. I'm not even gonna try it.
You know, that's how I would react. I would always go to the extreme, and the ultimate extreme was one night we was in Chicago, and we were in a restaurant. And there was a football player named Darryl Stingley. And Darryl Stingley, you know, he had got paralyzed from the neck down by another football player named Jack Tatum. He took a hell of a hit. He got paralyzed, you know, which is a very tragic thing, you know. So Darryl Stingley happened to come to this restaurant we were in, and in that time he was a celebrity, and he had a whole bunch of girls with him, you know what I'm saying? But you know, my brother was in there with the tight leather on and all that. Darryl Stingley, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't move, man. You know what I'm saying? He's over here. So let me give you an idea of what was going on, man. We at our table chilling, right? Now the girls with Stingley, they was paying a little bit too much attention to my brother. So we didn't call it hating back then. When Stingley started hating, man, the motherfucker, he's like this. Fuck Eddie Murphy. Fuck that punk ass nigga. Shit. I got money. The fuck y'all keep looking at this nigga for? Fuck him. Fuck Buckwheat. Niggas corny anyway. I don't like Beverly Hills Cop. It's going on and on and on and on. Loud, man, like the whole restaurant could hear it. No one is saying anything to Darryl because, you know, as a culture, you know, as a society, it's kind of wrong to step to this guy. You know? But, you know, like I told you, man, I make my own rules, man. Fuck that, man. If you're a talking head motherfucker and you acting like you forgot that that's what you are, I'm going to hold a mirror up and let you see what's going on. I went over there. I told him, I said, look, man, you want me to flip your fucking chair over? Huh? And stomp your mouth? Because that's the only thing that's moving. You want to lose that? Huh? And he looked me in the eye and he seen that I was dead serious. I was going to flip that motherfucker's chair over and stomp his mouth, man. And he got horrified. I said, I'm going back over to my table. If I hear one more peep out of you, man, when I come back over here, I'm gonna fuck you up, man. Now shut the fuck up. And you know, then his eyelids was trembling because that's the only thing that can move. And he's sitting there and shit, you know what I'm saying? So I go back to my seat and I sit down. My brother was like, yo, man, why? That was messed up, man. I said, you hear him saying anything wrong about you anymore? See, that's how messed up it is. You hear any more Eddie Murphy's a bitch, fuck Beverly Hills Cop? The nigga's silent, right? That's how it's supposed to be. He's supposed to be enjoying his meal, shut the fuck up over there and eat his meal. That's what he's doing there. And the girls that was over there, you know, they was quiet, and I heard one of them say, Darryl, you're not eating anything. He had lost his appetite. You know what I mean? I'm sorry I ruined his meal, but he wasn't ruining mine. I'm not hearing it. You know, and it was all stemming from, that's my brother, man, I'm not having it. I was to the point where, man, if I went to a show and you was that hater in the audience that shit wasn't fun, jamming you, man. Because the shit was funny. You know, if it's 10,000 people laughing and you that one joker that want to try to squeeze lemon, fuck you. I don't even want you to be here. And I took it as a personal crusade until they was like, you know what, you're a little overzealous with the way you're performing your job. So that was how I ended up not doing that no more, man.
Oh, man, Charlie Murphy, man, we gonna miss you for sure. And also in reviews this week, you know what, we said on the show in earlier episodes that we were definitely gonna go out and see it.
Yes.
And we did. That Power Rangers movie was good. I ain't even gonna lie, boy. That Power Rangers movie was good. They knew what they was doing. They wanted to get, like, they did something for the kids. They did something for the adults. I like the way that they kind of took it seriously, but not too seriously, because
that's why you gotta do it.
A lot of people were kind of like saying that there was like two different movies going on, because you got the Power Rangers was doing the Power Ranger thing, and you had Cranston as Zordon, and that was like a real like drama-filled thing. And then you had Elizabeth Banks, her Rita Repulsa, and she was kind of camping it up and doing all kind of stuff. But you know what? It was harkening back to the old '90s show, and that's kind of what she was about, you know.
Yeah.
Well, and since that show was cut and pasted from 3 or 4 other series, it kind of makes sense that it would feel like several different movies put together.
Yes, and I would just have to say the chemistry between the stars of the Power Rangers, it seemed like they were away on location somewhere. It was just them. I mean, none of them were really famous. I think the Yellow Ranger, my kids kind of know her because she's a singer. Sure. Yeah, exactly. She's a singer. I feel really bad. I'm sorry, Becky G, that I don't know any of your music.
You're not.
But apparently you were on an episode of Empire last year. Hey, but whatever.
Got nothing.
And everybody else was really good. And I thought not only were they good, and I can definitely see a sequel, you know.
Oh, of course. Everything nowadays is a franchise. So
yeah, and that's the thing. And if you're an up and coming, you know, star in Hollywood, and, you know, people don't even know. I mean, we're calling them the Power Rangers because we literally don't know any of their names.
Awesome.
But they are.
I do. There's green, black, pink.
Hey, you're black.
No, I'm not black. That was good. I like that. It was good. I do recommend the Power Rangers movie. I mean, it's been out for a while now. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen it yet, go see it. And not only that, but I really wasn't going to go see Kong Skull Island because I figured I don't need another King Kong movie in my life. But boy, I was wrong.
I wanted to go see Kong Skull Island because I love kings, I love Kongs, and I love King Kong. That said, Samuel L. Jackson, when I saw the trailer, I was like, why is he in this? And then I saw Blue, I was like, he did well.
He did a good job. Now, I would have to say, all right, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, hand to God, dude, you are Loki. There's nobody else who could have played that. Tom Hiddleston as a badass, that opening scene with him being the badass. Look, I wasn't buying it, but I'm glad that they kind of stayed away from that.
Well, for the rest of the
yeah, because he was supposed to be
special forces.
No, because it was the English Army. So what do they call that? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Man.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Anyway, the movie was good. I loved the special effects, and one thing that I really liked was they didn't really delve too deeply into a love story.
Yes,
but they did kind of,
it was,
the characters.
They massaged it a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, and I like to see Eazy-E and Dr. Dre still working. Man, they out there.
No doubt.
Eazy-E and Dr. Dre was in Kong Island. I didn't know that. Or not Kong Island, Kong Skull Island. So, and it was good, and they made it. Spoiler alert!
Black people made it.
The black guy doesn't die in this movie. Maybe. I don't know.
It's only because there was more than one, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they gotta die.
They can't kill them all because if they kill every black person, come on.
They was trying. They were like, we need some. You know, I was in Vegas last week. Two things I want to say. One, I was in the CVS store and I really wanted to get a. They didn't have it, but if they had, it was a Star Trek red shirt, and I wanted to get that because like whoever has the red shirt always dies. And the other thing I was going to say is I was rocking the 252 t-shirt walking around the strip, and I kept getting stopped by people, you know, hey man, hey, 252, and I was like, all right, you know, our fans,
hey,
you know,
they know the show,
they know the show, 252, hey, what's up, 252, but apparently they were just giving me props because they thought that I was from the same area code as them.
There you go.
Yeah. So
a lot of people from what was that, North Carolina? I think it was some city in North Carolina. We looked it up.
Yeah.
And it was like,
yeah.
yeah.
So not many fans in LA stopping you. There's people from that area.
Yeah.
But rounding out this part of the show, Ralphie D recommends Tropic Thunder. 2008's Tropic Thunder. Tug Speedman as Ben Stiller as Tug Speedman. I was going to say Tug Speedman as Ben Stiller. Pampered action star sets out for the Southeast Asia to take part in the biggest, most expensive war movie produced. But soon after filming begins, he and his co-stars, and that is Oscar winner Kirk Lazarus, a.k.a. Robert Downey Jr.
Iron Man.
Comic Jeff Portnoy, that's Jack Black. I love Jack Black and anything he does. And the rest of the cast, they run into more than they bargained for. Put your feet up. Watch this one. It is funny. Grab a brewski. Smoke if you smoke. I don't smoke. But
well, I can say there's one thing about Tropic Thunder that you kind of forget about. Or not kind of forget about, you absolutely forget about.
Iron Man's in it.
Is that when it opens up with showing all the different actors and stuff that's in Tropic Thunder and their own little things. So it's all these little teasers and movies and stuff like that. And they're using drops from like Universal and Miramax and whoever they're using the opening things from. And it's like a DreamWorks film or something like that. So I was like, that was kind of bold.
They can always come together and make these things happen. You know, can we use this 10 seconds of footage? How much is going to cost? All it's going to do is just bring some.
Yeah. Somebody going to some UFC. And at the end of the day, I mean, it was really funny. And you would think about when they try to put that together. Let's say you got your stars. You got your, like you said, you got Robert Downey Jr., you got Jack Black,
JB,
and you got Ben Stiller.
Yes.
But who steals the movie? Nick Nolte. And who steals the movie from Nick Nolte? Tom Cruise. That's right. Tom very unrecognizable Tom Cruise completely steals
the end of that movie when he does his
and he's dancing to Ludacris.
Oh, that is still hilarious, still funny. And one of my favorite quotes from the movie is by the.
You're talking to me this whole time. Oh, my favorite.
No, by oh Jesus Christ, what's his name? Eastbound and Down.
Oh, big ass titties.
Big ass titties.
Danny McBride. Looking forward to seeing him in Alien Covenant. We're definitely going to check that one out.
Yeah, one of my favorite franchises. And
Aliens is one of our favorite franchises, and I feel like now after Bill Paxton and stuff like that. Sigourney Weaver. Well, she's not dead. But
yeah.
Why
you bring her up like that, man? Make me feel bad. 1987, when a small show called Good Morning Miss Bliss debuts. I watched it, but it doesn't have the reverence to me as say by.
So you watched Good Morning Miss Bliss when it aired?
I may have some false memories, but I feel like I did.
Because I know from just on the little research that I've had over the years, it was Good Morning Miss Bliss came out and there was a vehicle for Haley Mills.
Mm-hmm.
And the studio was behind it, they were, Disney, ABC, they were behind it and they were pushing it and they wanted her to do something because they really wanted to work with her and stuff like that. And they got all this stuff together and they got these cute little kids that's going to be her students and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the ratings were not good. The ratings were down in the dumpster and stuff like that, and they were going to their school, and the school was placed in like Cincinnati.
Indiana.
Was it Indiana? I thought it was like Ohio. But
pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, wherever it was placed in the Midwest.
Yep.
Well, I want to say it was the president of ABC. I want to say
Brandon Tartikoff.
He still liked the show.
Mm-hmm.
He liked the show. He wanted to go forward. And I want to say Good Morning Miss Bliss probably ran off like 13 episodes or something like that. And it was like, look, we're going to do this show, but we're going to do it from the kids' perspective,
mm-hmm.
not the teachers.
Yeah.
So TK Carter gotta go. Miss Bliss gotta go. The chick that was the secretary gotta go.
Yeah.
Okay, it had TK Carter. Now I remember that
Slater.
show.
The kid that was AC Slater before AC Slater had to go. So they only kept Mr. Belding, Zach, Screech, and Lisa.
I don't think Screech was on it.
Yes, he was.
Was he?
Yep, because Zach and Screech Well, Dustin Diamond and Mark Paul Gosselaar, they met up at the audition together, and they had great chemistry. They had great chemistry. They became fast friends, and they were both like, "Good luck to you, good luck to you." They went in, and they got it. And it was one of those things. And I got from the what do you call it? The unauthorized biography, because Mark Paul Gosselaar was going out for the All-American boy, Zach Morris, and Dustin Diamond was like, "Well, is this your mother?" And he was like, "Yeah," because his mother is Asian and his father is Dutch, so he's not even American at all. But he's like, "I'm an actor, so I can act American." Because I think they were like they lived in Canada, so they were coming from Canada down. They kept coming down for auditions and stuff like that. And that's actually pretty good a testament for his parents having that much faith in him, and they were doing all this stuff, or trying to make it for his career.
Someday you can be Screech.
Yeah, someday you can. Shit. And he did. So going with that, so those were the ones that they wanted to keep. Mr. Belding, Lisa, Zach, and Screech. So they decided to move it from the West Coast and
from the Midwest to the West Coast.
Midwest to the West Coast. And that's when I first found the show.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was over at Don's house, and I spent the night over at his house on a Saturday and stuff like that. And then you woke up and we were watching cartoons. We were doing our normal stuff, and then of course it came on
after the cartoons
towards the end, and we saw this thing, and I remember cocking my head to the side, and it was like, because it was like the bell rang, because I heard the bell ring, and then the classic theme song
"When I Wake Up in the Morning"
started to play, and I was like, what's this over here? And then I saw all the stuff, and they was doing all things. In that first episode, I was hooked, and I was like watching it. And I watched it from the first episode, and I watched Saved by the Bell. Embarrassingly, I watched it all the way through to the college years, all the way up until when Zach and Kelly got married in Hawaii.
But then you quit, and I did too, because the new class was.
Oh, and I wasn't Saved by the Bell. I mean, the new class.
Saved by the Bell, the new class.
Man, they was trying. Now, I did watch a couple of them. I'm not going to lie. I kind of tuned in a little bit. And there were some people that came out. Like, I want to say, what's her name? Bianca Lawson. She was on that. And there were some other people who actually came out of that and still on the other side had a little bit of.
Well, that's good for them, and there's definitely an audience for that.
And it was a vehicle for Dennis Haskins and Dustin Diamond. They both needed to keep working their careers going.
Because it was a lot like the new WKRP. It's like, I've got a couple of the people, and it's not bad, but it doesn't compare.
Was After MASH any good?
No. Same thing. Not
MASH
good.
Was not good.
After MASH, that was worse.
They were all working in the same hospital, right? That was the premise of that.
Yeah.
Were they?
Yeah. Well, it was the Colonel Potter.
It wasn't no
Father Mulcahy and Radar were the only three. Oh, and Klinger.
Yeah. Klinger. It sounds like you did watch it.
Oh, I did. I definitely did. I was like 9 years old. The entire season it ran, but I liked it better than MASH because it wasn't full of fucking people being blown up and gory. But it was not a good show. I watched lots of not good shows in the early 80s.
And you know how MASH had that film quality, and then After MASH had that video studio. Yeah, the studio thing. So, but my Saved by the Bell story isn't as long. It's just I liked the show. I watched the show. I still watch the show.
They said that the first that Miss Bliss show was actually a Disney Channel show, so that's why I never saw it.
I didn't see it.
I didn't have a Disney Channel. They probably showed it after they probably showed it on NBC after it ran on the Disney Channel.
That's what I was thinking.
Like summer reruns or something. I'm sure they threw it in there because they would have had the permission to do so.
Right. And especially with Brandon Tartikoff running things on NBC, I feel like I saw it on NBC, and I was all about NBC back in the day. Those were my shows. But a lot of careers were started on Saved by the Bell, and not to mention just the regular cast, but I mean, Tori Spelling on that show.
Oh man, there's a huge list of people who were on Saved by the Bell that got fame later. You got Denise Richards.
And I can tell you what episode she was in.
Eric Dane.
Malibu Beach Sands episode.
Leah Remini.
Malibu Beach Sands episode.
I want to say Patrick Muldoon.
He took...
Because him and Denise Richards were also in Starship Troopers.
Yeah. I like that one. Yeah.
But yeah, he was
Jeff, the college guy who took Kelly.
Wasn't he like the manager at the Max?
Yeah. Assistant manager at the Max.
Who else did you have there? What's her name? Actually, I don't know. Was she on Saved by the Bell or Good Morning Miss Bliss? I want to say her name was Carla.
Oh, Carla Gugino. She was on Miss Bliss.
Good Morning Miss Bliss. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, she was
young Carla.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was kid. She was a little kid. Also, Jaleel White. I remember him.
He was on an episode of Miss Bliss.
I can't remember if it was Miss. It's all mixed in.
Yeah, he was not on an episode of Saved by the Bell.
But I remember seeing him. He was a little kid. He was a nerd.
Typecasting.
Yeah, but it was early time. It was like
way pre-Urkel.
Yeah, it was way pre-Urkel. Oh, Punky Brewster was also.
Oh, Soleil Moon Frye. That's right.
I want to say what did she do?
She was on the episode where they ran a TV station at the school, and then she was the rich girl who spent all the money from Screech's spaghetti sauce.
Ah, you're right.
Yeah, it's sickening.
It's sickening.
I have to YouTube that one.
I love some punk. Oh, he was on a lot of shows. Not that his career's
also, we were talking about Ben Stiller earlier.
Oh,
well, his wife, Christine Taylor, also was on, and I think it was another one of those Malibu Beach. I think the Malibu Beach is what really kind of festered in the stars. You know, they had one-offs.
Actually, no, she was on the episode with the SATs. She played a short-lived love interest for Zach when he got his 1402.
Zach got a 1402?
Zach got a 1402.
Did he beat Jesse?
Yes. Jesse got a 12.
Do you remember the episode where Jesse was trying to study real hard and she was taking caffeine pills? Yeah. And they really wanted to do a hard episode. They really wanted an episode that was really gonna do some bite, but it was like they couldn't do because it was still a Saturday morning TV show, so they couldn't have Jessie on like drugs, but they had her on caffeine pills like NoDoz.
Hey,
and then
those can really fuck you up.
And then she overslept, and then she was like, because she was singing, because it was in the girl group. Because Zach was trying to do his little mini vocal.
What was the name of that group?
Jesse and the Pussycats? Oh, wait.
No, it was called Something Sunday, and Sunday was like the dessert Sunday.
What was the song that they kept singing?
Put your mind to it, go for it. Get down and break a sweat, rock and roll. You ain't seen nothing yet. Now that was the song that they were going to perform at the Max, and then they actually cut a demo with that song. But then they were going to do "I'm So Excited."
I'm so excited because that was the one when she was having her emotional breakdowns. I'm so excited. And she was all crying.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared now. Zach brings her off the ledge because he is a counselor as well as
because he was a really good friend, Yeah. And in the very beginning, when it was still kind of campy, I mean, the show was always campy. Yeah, but he would always do the timeout, which would freeze everything.
Yes. And how many times did you wish you had that power?
Yeah, with the timeout.
And then time stops.
You can time stop.
And then you can do something.
Break down the fourth wall and talk directly to the audience. And then time in and go right back into things.
Now, don't get me wrong. Zach Morris was probably the coolest kid on TV.
He had a cell phone in school. In the late 80s.
Was he as cool as that kid in the back of the comic books that had that sweet setup with the Nintendo, and he had the radio, the awesome TV, and he's sitting kicked back on his chair
when Frank when he was a kid?
Well, yeah, pretty much. But,
that guy had better stuff. I had like I had the Kmart version of all the stuff that guy had from Macy's.
There you go. Yeah, Zach was that cool kid, and they lived in the Pacific Palisades, so they were rich.
You know who else I remember? It was also what's her name? She played Sonya in the Mortal Kombat movies. And she also was.
That's right.
She was also Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter in the last Action Hero.
Yeah, that's.
She married Pete Sampras.
Bridget
Wilson Sampras.
Bridget Wilson. There you go.
Yeah.
She was in a Malibu Beach Sand episode.
So, man, that was all Malibu Beach.
That's when they needed more chicks in bikinis. They got to hire all the actresses they can get.
252.
Adonis, pull yourself together.